Uh, hey, what's up, pup? So I'm trying to get creative with the lighting because I'm in the Forerunner in a parking lot at night with a open sign flashing at me, and so you see the red on my face. But I'm trying to be productive while I'm sitting here thinking about stuff and planning and all the stuff I usually do, drinking coffee, on the third shift time timetable. So try and get a little extra light for the video because lighting is horrible. But I was sitting here thinking, like, okay, what can I throw out there? And in one of our recent conversations, as you hear traffic run behind me, in one of our recent conversations, you were talking about, made mention of Stoicism and being stoic and all of that. And in the world in general, I don't think most people understand what it is to be stoic. It's the obvious side of the house. It's the appearing unfazed by the world and situations you find yourself in. And while that is a little bit of it, that's not the whole story. It's more of being able to have a framework for the world so you understand it and then you can find your place within it. But I'm a fan of Stoicism myself, and my planner journal catch-all thing, which you've seen, and the camera is not showing up at all. The first couple pages actually have mindset stuff in there and the important stuff, keep at the top of the head and whatnot. And the second entry in that one is actually a entry from one of the Stoic fathers, or Father Stoicism, or at least one of the bigger names. But he wrote a collection of Stoic thoughts, and that collection was put into something called, referred to as meditations. And it was by a person named Marcus Aurelius. So this excerpt is from him. So I'll just go ahead and read that out to you. Again, it's an excerpt from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into this world to do? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm? So you were born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why are you running to do your nature? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands of you? You don't love yourself enough. Or if you did, you'd be running, you'd love your nature too, and what it demands of you. And so there's a lot of insights in that, and there's a mentality that's great to serve you with. But one of the big things that I take away from it is, that nature of that big question of purpose. What are you here for? Well, it puts it in very simple terms in this, as far as this goes. And comparing to the plants, the birds, the ants and spiders and bees, going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order as best they can. And right there's kind of a clue. It's to put things in order as best you can as a human being. That part just comes natural. It's part of your nature. And so as long as you're putting the world in order as best you can, you're going to be doing it as a human being does it. And that kind of leads into a second thought. And I'll try to keep this fairly short and not go too philosophical for the conversation. But like I said, it's the second entry in my personal planner thing. And the first entry, and I'll get to that one at some other time, is a way to look at the world and things and, whatnot. It's not overly deep. It's fairly lighthearted because I like to look at things lighthearted. But it also gives a useful framework for the bigger picture in things. So I'm able to frame the situation. And then I move into framing my place in it. So now that I understand what's going on, can focus on doing what needs to be done with it. And that's where meditations kind of came in. And my place in it, just like, I believe most people's place is, and whether they intentionally do it or just find themselves by happenstance just to get by in it, they'll do it as well. And it's, putting it in order, at least for yourself on some basic level. So that also kind of leads into a second thought here, and I'm going to try to keep this video fairly short. Excuse me, I'll take a drink of my coffee. Observing social distance and all of that, and self-quarantining, but I have to have my coffee, so I'm drinking it here in the Forerunner. But that second concept is anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. So when you start out trying to put things in order, you're going to start out putting things in order poorly. But that mentality needs to be tempered with that of anything worth doing is worth learning to do well. A lot of people stop at that first step. Oh, I did it, so that's good enough. Well, you can always improve, and you improve through practice. So hence, doing a video on my phone with in the rain outside with my window open, which, hindsight. And then a open sign flashing red in my face. I'm doing things, but it's not as well done as it could have been done. I'm starting poorly for something worth doing. And now that I have experience, I have something to say, oh, I can do it better next time. And this is how I can do it. Anyway, Stoicism and that mentality, and then, the purpose of things, to put them in order as best you can. And the important part is to start with things. And when you start, just be willing to do it poorly at the beginning. And then over time, with experience and inattention, then you you learn to do it better. So anything worth doing is worth learning to do better. And it's worth starting out poorly. So anyway, hopefully this is something helpful and productive while I'm sitting here contemplating and planning and reviewing the end of the week and drinking my coffee. So, until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye, Pup.